I'm surprised I haven't done it already, but I'm pretty sure I've touched on it on one of my videos or maybe quite a few of the videos I've done, because my life, as much as it's rooted in having boundaries, standards, and expectations, I can tell you that it's guided, all of those things are guided by my intuition, my instinct, intuition, and discernment. And it's something I've said a lot. I mean, I've recorded a lot of videos I haven't really posted because I'm still getting used to the idea of editing and all of that stuff. And life goes on, and so many things are happening in my personal life. So I know I've mentioned it somewhere, but it may not be posted. So I really wanted to make the distinction because I realize a lot of people are mixing up instincts with intuition. I'm not the creator as much as I've given birth to two children. So I'm on the lower end of of being a creator. Like, I'm not the ultimate creator. I don't know how every single part of our bodies work, even my children who are brought into this world. So there's an ultimate creator or the creator of all of us. So I'm going to venture to say that I don't know for sure 1000% that males don't have intuition. However, I've never heard of male intuition. I've only heard of female intuition. I have dated multiple grown-ass males, men, whatever, who have often pointed out this wonderful gift that all males are very, very much aware of, that women possess, and it's called female intuition. So I got into it with someone in the comments. I'm always getting into it with somebody in a YouTube comment somewhere, somebody responding to me like they know more than me. And I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all or I know everything, but when I comment, I usually know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, I don't just comment just to comment. So I forgot the exact post, but I basically was saying, I think it was a video based on values that females or women have that don't have, you can't put a price on, like it's invaluable. And I put that intuition is one of those things that we have that many of us don't use, but it's something that we have that males don't. So of course a male had to come in talking about he's a life coach or whatever coach he is. He comes in and pretty much says, oh, males have it as long as they do the work and tap into it or whatever. I'm like, no. Well, if that's what they have to do to tap into it or to get it, then that means innately they don't have it. Which was somewhat of my response. And somebody else wanted to join in, because you know how it is, bro code, males looking out for other males, even when they're, not the smartest, or even if it's for something degenerate or something that doesn't make any sense or something that is untrue, they'll support each other. So this person comes in and saying everybody, he says, has intuition. So I basically says the same way everybody has a brain and doesn't use it. So I basically had to, and I think I also said this part that I forgot to mention before with the first life coach guy. I said, stop confusing intuition with instincts, because everybody was born with instinct. It's something that's innate in us that, the divine creator decided to bless us with, because it is part of your instincts, is part of your survival mode. That's what all animals have, that allows them to survive in their habitat, in the wild, or wherever. And ultimately, that's what even people on the street who, hustlers and prostitutes and all those people that are out there in the streets, because you could pretty much call that the wild or the jungle. That's how they, for those who have survived, that's how they've survived. That's how they've made it, because of the instincts that they have to, to survive, to say, don't go down that block, avoid that street, cross the road here, turn around, whatever it may be. We all have it. Not all of us listen to it. Not all of us follow it. And that's when we end up in some dire situations. Some of us don't live to tell about the dire situations that we end up with. Many people have ignored their instincts and gotten married, have decided to have children, or whatever the situation is. Everybody has their journey. That's going to be something I'm going to constantly say, because we all have our journeys. We all are here to learn a particular lesson. And regardless of how that lesson is to be learned, that's between you and the creator. And, I can only judge so far. So I did start already with the instinct part, but I wanted to really come on to share the difference based on my experience, based on what I know, based on even what Chat GPT says. I don't agree with a lot of stuff that Chat GPT says, but it's pretty concise when I'm trying to find something. And so far with these particular intuition, in describing intuition, instincts, and discernment, it's basically in accordance with what I know it to be, based on my experience and what I know for sure. When I Google it, I got too many different people saying a whole bunch of different things. So that particular situation was just one instance where males are trying to say, oh, we have intuition too. And I'm like, well, okay, I doubt that. And of course, the life coach says if they do their work and they really put in the effort, they can tap into it. And then he starts to tell me about all these gurus and all these monks or whatever the hell they call them. I don't know what these males have. And I was just like, I'm not interested. Like, I've listened to a few of them, heard a few of them. And I think a lot of males that are in that space of spirituality are not really spiritual, because if you really check a lot of them, eventually the truth about that whole mission that they're on, their spirituality mission, was always to deceive people. And we're still waiting on others to come forward. So I don't trust any male that is in a spiritual space talking about their intuition and their desire. I think true intuition was really something that was given to females. I really feel that way, because I know many men and males that fear the female intuition, but a lot of females have even abandoned. I don't even think I said newer little girls, but I don't even think these modern girls. And I just realized, even though I've had the conversation with my daughter, I don't know if I've really broken it down the way I'm going to break it down. So after I break it down here, I'm definitely going to break it down to her about her female intuition and how to tap into it. I mean, I remember the last guy I even dated was telling me, like, I was telling him things, but that was more of my intuition. And some instincts kicked in, and they kind of work in tandem, intuition, instincts, and discernment. But when I break them down, I will let you know exactly how they kind of play their individual role. And discernment to me is not a benefit that is bestowed or blessed upon a lot of people. A lot of people ain't even going to get a lot of people aren't going to get to intuition, and a lot of people definitely are not going to get to discernment. That is really literally for the chosen few. Discernment. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay. But besides those males wanting intuition and confusing it with instincts, because when I even responded to them and I said, stop confusing intuition with instincts, I didn't get any more responses to it, to, me saying that, because I know that's what they're doing. But just a few minutes ago, I was listening to a female who talks a lot about spirituality, and She was even describing intuition as instincts. And I'm saying, are you kidding me, lady? Like, now I gotta look at you sideways. How do you not know the difference between, because she kept saying intuition, but everything she was saying was speaking about instincts, because intuition doesn't work as quickly as instincts. Instinct is really like when you watch those superhero movies and I don't know, the superhero is getting into character or about to help help a victim. That is more instincts. Intuition is like foreseeing, foretelling, not immediate stuff, but something that will come eventually. Maybe in the next day or two or whatever. Instinct is right now. Right now. God is like telling you, like, you go into that house, you may not come out. Okay, instincts is when you watch certain documentaries of people saying that have survived some heinous crimes, and when they're retelling their story, they're like, I felt, I had that feeling that told me not to go in that house, but I went anyway, and the minute I passed that threshold, I was like, oh God, help me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's instinct. Now, intuition in a situation like that would probably be that person seeing that moment, like having like a vision or something, and seeing that scene or maybe the house or whatever, and knowing from that vision, which is way before, it could be days, could be months, and that's what they even call deja vu. Like when you end up in a situation like, wait, I've been here before. Wait a minute. What? Haven't I said that already? That happens to me a lot. That sometimes happen through visions. You get visions a lot of times through, sleeping. A lot of times I either get visions, I either dream when I'm asleep or I have visions when I sleep. And my grandmother kind of helped me to differentiate the two, because sometimes dreams can be a little blurry, obscuring, abstracty. Excuse the words, but that's what's coming out right now. A vision is pretty clear. I mean, it seems like you're dreaming in like HD, 4K, whatever the latest technology in television is. It's like, and literally you get to that moment, whether months later, weeks later, and you're like, wait a freaking minute. Like, I've been here before. This scene is familiar. Like, what? And as you're going through it and you're saying, wait, I've been here before, everything is happening as it happened already in the vision. And you're just like, wow, this is crazy. Anybody can relate? Please comment in the comment section. Not a lot of people I've spoken to can relate. So, but that happens to me a lot. It used to happen to me a whole lot more when I was in my 20s. So, yeah, so let's go to ChatGPT. Let me stop talking for a while and just go to, hear what ChatGPT has to say. So I basically typed in, what's the difference between intuition, instincts, and discernment? So it says instincts refer to innate, biologically driven behaviors or responses that are hardwired into an organism's genetic makeup, which is basically what I'm saying. We're all born with it for the most part. Animals, you name it, are born with it, right? That's what would make an animal that's being hunted run away, or whatever it may be, even though sometimes, they may lose the struggle, but at least they tried. At least their instinct has said run, and they ran. It says instincts are often automatic and reflexive, which is basically what I said, and are triggered by specific environmental cues or stimuli. Examples of instincts in humans might include the drive to seek food when hungry, the fear response when confronted with danger, or the urge to care for one's offspring. Okay. Didn't really look at those as instincts, but because my instincts usually come as warnings. So, but yeah, that's like natural instincts that they basically just told you. Okay, so intuition is next. On the other hand, intuition, on the other hand, refers to a more subtle form of non-conscious knowledge or understanding that arises from within us. I disagree that it arises from within us, but through the higher power, I would say. Often without a clear explanation. True, but also not true. Intuition may involve a hunch, a feeling, or a sense of knowing. It's more of a sense of knowing. For me, I'm just saying. That goes beyond conscious analysis or logical reasoning. Intuition can be influenced by past experiences, unconscious biases, emotions, and physiological sensations, and can be an important tool for decision making and problem solving. Well, it has been for me, when it comes to important decision making and problem solving, for sure. So that's intuition versus instinct. But there's something I'm going to add my version of what an intuition is, which is what I think I've said it before. A lot of times my intuition is tied in. It's more deeper. It's not as surface as this explanation is. And I think that's for me a lot of times why as I was saying to a friend earlier, and I've recorded because I know I've said it multiple times, because I hear so many females talk about, oh, he cheated on me. I don't have a cheated on me story from any relationship I've ever been in, because it just never, I'm not saying they've never cheated. I'm just saying it's never been an issue, because once the relationship started to get funky, as far as some semblance, some kind of disrespect may have taken place, a comfortability that makes them think like it's really the change of behavior, and it's subtle, which a lot of people miss. My female intuition usually just kicks in and says something's off, something's going on, he's getting too comfortable, and I start to pull back. So I'm sure if you've asked any of my exes, they'll be like, I don't know why we broke up. She broke up with me or whatever. Like, because a lot of times it's not even something I can explain to them or want to. But sometimes there's something tangible where I could say, I didn't like the way you spoke to me, or based on maybe a letter. Because back in the day when I dated, guys wrote letters to me. So I would go off of what they mentioned in the letter. A lot of time it was insecurity, because every male I've dated, even grown-ass man, even the one that was 21 years older than me, they all have insecurities more than even a female. It's just that females act on their insecurities to fix themselves and do all these crazy surgeries more than a male would, because there's a little bit more pressure for a woman to be perfect or appear perfect. But males have, and their insecurity is nauseating. At least for me it is. So my female intuition only would pick up on just them not honoring their word. That was something, again, that came up. Them not sticking to what they said they were going to do, beginning to see, their representative kind of dissipate, and the real them are beginning to evolve. And I'm just like, wait a minute, who is this person? And then I'm just like, let me just moonwalk my ass, over there, and just really take a good look at the situation and just beat it, tell them to beat it, really. So that's how my female intuition have worked for me. So I've never gotten into, oh, you cheated, or who was that girl, or who was this, that, and boom, 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 boom. It was, I've never. It's just like, why? But anyway, discernment, meanwhile, back to ChatGPT. So it says this discernment, meanwhile, refers to the ability to judge or perceive something clearly and accurately, often by carefully analyzing and evaluating information. Now, that is true. And that is why I have often said I judge the hell out of people. And it's often righteous judgment. Like, I'm not just sitting up there, being super critical and mean or anything like that. But discernment comes with wisdom. Again, all of them are creator given, right? Creator blessed us with these things. But discernment to me is like the highest form. Discernment to me is that the judgment part, where I can look at a person and based on what they say, I can almost always 100% psychologically analyze them and be like, okay, they came from this kind of home, or this may have happened to them, or they may have been subjected to some kind of trauma that created their outlook on life, or this is why they think this way, or this is why this is, that's how my discernment works. So this is true with discernment. It's clear and it's accurate. It also says discernment involves the use of conscious reasoning, critical thinking, and evaluation of evidence, and can be particularly useful in situations where intuition or instincts may be unreliable or misleading. I don't know. I get that, but for me, like, they all click in at their own timing. I don't know. Maybe that's how my discernment kicks in, is when instincts and intuition are unreliable. No, I don't even think so. Unreliable or misleading. First of all, unreliable. Intuition or instincts may be unreliable or misleading. I doubt mine. My intuition or instincts have never been unreliable or misleading. You see what I'm telling you about ChatGPT? They always come with some left shit that I'm just like, where you get that from, sir? ChatGPT, whatever. So yeah, that part, no. I don't know what the hell they mean by that, because I always say your God-given GPS are those three things: your instincts, your intuition, and your discernment. Now, everybody was born with instincts, like I said. For the most part, I believe females are born with intuition for some strange reason, due to indoctrination, patriarchy, a pick-me-sha mentality, a male-identified mentality have quelled or created some kind of dormancy when it comes to a female activating her intuition. I see that a lot, because I'm just like, seriously, why are we tolerating this nonsense from males? Why are we still even dealing with them with no standards or boundaries or expectations? Like, what are we doing? So, but when it comes to discernment, you gotta be in a special category. I don't care. I know ChatGPT didn't say it. I probably can't find it anywhere online or whatever, but I can guarantee you that discernment is not everybody that has that. That is something you get by divine order, by being in tuned with your instincts and your intuition. That to me is like when you really listen to your intuition and your instincts, and the universe or the creator or the source is aware that you're really paying attention, and that's honoring the creator. That's how I feel. That's how I see it. Right? That's why people who don't follow it, don't listen to it, get their ass in some serious trouble. And then they want to be like, why me? If they live to ask the, why did this happen to me? And victim. I feel like That's another way to not betray yourself as well, is to when you ignore your intuition and your instincts, it's a form of self-betrayal. I seriously believe that it's a form of self-betrayal. That's why there's a heavy price to pay. And if nobody is tapping in or even paying attention or researching, what these things are, intuition, instincts, before you even get to discernment, you have to tap into instincts and intuition, or else you're really gonna be out there flat on your face 24/7. Like, I already recorded the video. I don't know when I'm gonna post it. Maybe before this one even posts. I don't know, but I doubt it, because I feel like I need to put this one out fast, quick, fast, in a hurry, because I'm so annoyed with watching people misinterpret and confuse intuition with instincts. And rarely anybody talks about discernment. It's just recently you start hearing people talk about discern. But I don't even think people realize that that's not something you just get. That's a blessing. That's a gift. Like, when I say gift, I mean, like, because I just remember when I got it, or when I realized I got it, even now I'm like so grateful for having it in so many ways. And it's helped me a lot in the critical thinking department, for sure. You definitely have to be a critical thinker, but beyond those things, I really feel that it's something that just kind of comes like, it it's like it's like the holy grail of the holy grail of what now? Like, the holy grail of wisdom, the holy grail of connecting to source looking out for you, protection, spiritual and universal it's just, listen, I can't do without it. I could tell you that much. Like, I cannot live without it. It's worth first of all, it's invaluable. Discernment, very, very much invaluable. That's what allows me to pick the sense out of nonsense. If you've ever heard me say that before, trust me, you'll be hearing me say it a lot, because I've recorded it many a times. It's the ability to pick sense out of nonsense. That's ultimately what discernment is, but there are other factors to it. There's the judgment aspect, where you're able to judge accurately and righteously. You're not just out there just flim-flamming and being hypercritical about people and whatever it is. It's really putting things into perspective on a level where you can't deny it. Anybody hearing you, or when you speak, it resonates. Even if it's something that may hurt somebody, they still can't deny, like, wow, yeah, that makes sense. That's what discernment is. Or it's also the same thing. It does the opposite too, where it's like, what the hell? That is some nonsense. That is untrue. Stop the cap. But yeah. So that's what discernment is. And again. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Please like, share, subscribe to Bright Boundaries. I'm trying to build a channel here with some valuable information that I think could help a lot of people, especially in these times. And please comment, let me know what you think, and let me know if you've had experiences with these three phenomenons. Two of them I can definitely tell you we were born with. One is more innate than the other, which is instincts. It's like basic, for our survival and stuff. Like intuition to me, and I guess there are levels to each of them. I would probably want to venture to say there may be levels to it too, you know, but I just don't like the fact that people are literally confusing intuition with instincts, you know, because intuition is not like this lady in particular was saying. Intuition is it's quick. That's instincts. It's quick. At least it's definitely quicker than intuition. I'm not saying intuition takes forever. It's, you know, it could be a day, it could be a few hours or something like that, but it's not quick. Intuition is not quick. Or doesn't cause you to act quick. Instincts, basic instinct, gut instincts, that's what causes you to move fast. And your gut instincts, why I say gut, is that it really comes from your gut. And they've said that based on all the neurons and stuff that's in the gut, they kind of say it's like a second brain, but I ultimately say, for me and what my gut has done for me, I'm not saying my brain hasn't done just enough, because I mean your brain controls so much of your body, your mind more so, but I feel like my gut is my first brain, not even my second brain, with what it's helped me to do, because the brain is more rational, if you can even rationalize, because some of us can't. But instinct is more matter of fact, act now. You know, the brain, you know, may need data, it may need this and that to support, you know, the reasoning and, you know, all of that stuff. Instinct don't work. Instinct is quick, fast, and a hurry. Like you turn off the road, and then by the time I've heard so many stories. That's what this lady was even saying when she was confusing instinct with intuition. She was saying even with procrastination, intuition helps you, like it could be part of your intuition. And I'm like, no, that's also instincts. A lot of time your instincts will tell you, like I've told you, giving you examples in the beginning, don't go over there, go over there, or sit your ass home, or wait, or something could happen. You caught a spill happens, you know, you're supposed to be somewhere at a certain time, you're running late, and something happens where you literally have to wait or clean up the mess or whatever. And then it turns out a few minutes later you hear there was an accident on the same route you were supposed to take, and it was like a chain reaction type of accident. You know how many stories I've heard of that, where somebody was supposed to go here or do this or go there, and something said no, or something happened to where they were delayed, and you know, they couldn't make it or couldn't leave at that particular time. That's why I don't push or rush anything anymore. It's like it'll happen when it happens. Like I do the work for sure. I pray about it, and you know, the rest I leave up to the universe. So instinct definitely will work like that. I'm guessing intuition can work like that too, but intuition to me is more like foresight. You know, you're seeing something way before it happens. You know, you're getting that feeling that this is what's good. Like, for example, I'll give you a recent intuition that I had. Example with my cousin. Her father passed away. She went in Jamaica. I was supposed to go, but so many things happened. That's when I was feeling depressed. I wasn't having any energy. I was literally miserable, feeling like I was losing my mind. Turns out I'm anemic. My anemia is back, and I deficient in vitamin D and B12, so I got B12 and vitamin D shots, and of course the feeling of depression went away. Of course, I'm still technically grieving over my mom's death, but I think because I'm grieving in a way where it's different. It's not according to the grieving steps at all. I'm grieving in a way where I'm connecting to her in a different way now that she's gone. It's kind of hard to explain because I'm still going through it, but this is, how I'm understanding it. I dream about her as well. So I'm doing a lot of writing. I'm doing a lot of processing. And I think part of even my anemia coming back is it's tied in spiritually because I'm using up a lot of energy in this grieving, in this type of grieving that I'm grieving. And it's taken a lot out of me. It's definitely interrupted my sleep. Also my cycle. It's a lot of spiritual stuff going on with me that has transitioned into affecting me physically. So I couldn't go, and I kind of wanted to go. My children were the first signs that were totally against going. They're like, I'm not going. They don't want to go to another funeral, especially with what happened with their grandmother passing, her memorial funeral, and the whole breakup of the dynamics of our family with my father and the shit he did. And it's just a whole traumatic situation that went down. So that was also another indication that they're still dealing with it as well. And both of my children were like, nope, no more funerals. We ain't doing that. And I was like, damn, wow. And of course, I don't travel without my children. And I was at least willing to go with one and leave the other one behind. But they were both like, nope, you're going to have to go on your own. So I started to, a whole bunch of stuff started coming to my thoughts. And I thought about my son's sperm donor being one of the people that I would definitely run into. My cousin, who was my nanny, who also we no longer speak because she came here under some really messed up, suspicious activities that she came with. And I had to shut her ass down and tell her to leave my place. But I was thinking about running into her. And then, of course, my mother's deadbeat bum-ass brother. I know for a fact he was going to be there. It was confirmed he was going. So running into him, like, there was just so much. There would have been so many people to confront that the few people I told how I felt about going basically were saying, take your son and daughter's cue and keep your ass at home. They were like, don't even go. Don't even venture out. Stay your ass at home. And they were like, where were you going to get the energy to confront all these people, ma'am? Like, no, you go on a war path, and that's not necessary. But that is because of how I was, all those things that was coming up and how I was feeling, and that depressive mood that I was in. I think it was all culminating and creating like this warlock in me. And I was like, everybody's like, calm down, relax. When my cousin came back and she was giving me the spiel of everyone except my cousin, who, the one that I said when she came to visit, came under some suspicious activities and whatever. She didn't see her. She saw everybody else and their shenanigans. And she was breaking it down. And of course, I'm already saying to myself, that's exactly what I predicted would happen. Especially with my son's sperm donor being there. My cousin was like, I didn't expect to see him. And I was like, what? I was like, girl, I knew he was going to be there. She was like, what? I said, yep. And I mentioned it to her, but she lost her dad, so she's grieving now as well. So She didn't remember. She said she doesn't remember me telling her that, but I did tell her that he was one of the factors that I was, prepared to confront and probably even, I don't know, punch in the face had he come sideways or said something slick to me. But she said she had forgotten, but she keeps bringing him up. And I was just saying to her again, I don't know how you didn't know, but I told you. I told you he was, because she's still saying, I don't even know how he ended up there or why he was even there. I said, well, maybe, I don't know, but I knew his ass was everything. I predict. First of all, if I was there, definitely a confrontation would happen. So that's how the intuition worked for me, because it was months in advance. Well, a month, because it took them about 2 months to plan the funeral. So it was around that time, 2 months, I would give it, that I was definitely saying to myself, if I go, these people are going to be there. This is what's going to happen. And even though I'm about it, I'm not trying to do any of that. And of course, my health said no. In addition to my other friends was like, stay your ass at home. They're like, what are you doing? So that's just an example of how intuition works, how I know intuition works. Something you foresee, not something that happens quickly. And discernment can happen in different ways. It can happen quick. Sometimes I'm watching a movie and maybe I was trying to figure someone out a few weeks ago or a couple days ago. And then there's a scene in the movie or somebody says something in a commercial. It could just be random, just something. And I'll be like, yep, that's exactly what it is. And it's hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. But a lot of times, when I hear people talk, oh, I don't watch TV, a lot of times I'm not even watching it. It's on. I'm listening. Sometimes I'm not listening. And there are times when I listen to hear something and then I tune out again. Because I listen and whatever I need to hear in that moment puts me in a different zone, sometimes to write. And again, sometimes to discern somebody that I was trying to either read or pick up on or understand, like, why is this person like that? Or, this happened a few weeks ago. I wonder what that was about. And that's the next thing too. When you really tie your life into the universe and you're on a whole different trajectory, like not of the world and more into your spiritual side, when you're truly tapped in, let me tell you something, you can't even deny being tapped in. Sometimes, I don't know, instinct, intuition, and discernment, I'm sometimes wondering if they happen all at the same time for me at times. And sometimes I get overwhelmed, but not in a bad way, but like just in a way where I'm like, damn, I gotta write this down, I write this down. And that's when a friend of mine, when I was telling him what was really happening to me, and I should have seen me going into anemia from earlier in the year, because I kept telling him there's so much information, so much things coming at me all at once. I'm constantly writing, having to record things or whatever. And he's like, have you ever heard of the Akashic records? And I'm like, what the hell is an Akashic record? I thought, because he's into the music business, he's a producer, so I'm thinking he's talking something along the lines of music. He's like, no. And I'm not going to get into that right now because I'm still looking into the Akashic records. But basically, he was telling me what I was doing with recording everything that was happening to me. He's like, that's good, that's good, that's great, keep it up, make sure you're writing stuff down for sure, for real, like record, put down, write it, whatever you gotta do, keep a record of it. And I'm like, whether or not I want to or not, it's just it's happening innately. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, stuff keeps coming up and I'm having to record it, write it down, whether in my phone, if that's what I have handy at the time, or in my journal, or in a book somewhere, or I get on my recording, like I'm doing right now, recording on my phone, and I just start talking or recording what thoughts are coming to me. That's another reason I was it prompted me to do the YouTube channel as well, and stuff. So for sure. So there's a lot to unpack in this space, or in this realm of instinct, intuition, and discernment. But I hope I've clarified it, and I hope people stop confusing it, which I doubt. But instinct, they're all uniquely different, but they kind of work in tandem or correspond, or let's say they come from a similar source higher than us, the creator, universe, wherever. It comes from a source higher than us, and its ultimate goal or mission, all three, intuition, instinct, and discernment, is to guide us, is to give us the tools to really know how to navigate this crazy world that we live in. And it's helped. All three have helped me immensely, and I don't think I could have survived a lot of things that I've survived without either of them. And like I said, my boundaries have definitely been tied in to all three, and how I go about establishing my boundaries, enforcing them, and maintaining them. They definitely work right along with my instinct, intuition, and my discernment. So again, I hope we've learned something today, and thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Be well.